with my main account, having both get 2 chips, but I'll have to wait a couple of extra weeks, which kind of sucks. Where are we?
I see us 36, 35, 34, 33.
I never see us straight away. It's frustrating.
30.
Sometimes I see us straight away, and other times I don't. There we are. Okay, let's see. What is the delay today? Oh. Oh, no, that's not bad. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Nice.
We had a 1 second delay for the show on Wednesday. Single second. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen it.
Oh, I heard you say that.
1 second delay. It's never been. Latency's never been that good before. 2's always been the best. To see a 1 second delay.
You're the best around.
Yeah. Singing the Cobra Kai music there. I really hope that they. Hello, Governor. Hello, Governor. I really hope that they bring that back for season 4. I really, really hope. So when they do the tournament stuff, Plasma. Hello, Governor.
Hey, Plasma.
So yeah, when they Geek Girl. Hello, Governor. So yeah, when they bring. When they do season 4 of Cobra Kai, and obviously, they do the big tournament scenes and the tournament montages, I really want to hear that song when they do the tournament montage. They've got to do it.
Geek Girl gifting out subs. Thank you, Geek Girl.
Thank you, Geek Girl. Yeah, it will just, it'll make my heart flutter. Not that season 3 didn't do that already. Season 3 was just awesome.
Yep. Geek Girl and JJ Manners are now tied for the co-captain of the subliminal Falcon.
No, it's the Millennial Fulcrum.
Well, there's the two different ones. There's thank you, Cascade, for the congrats. Curtis, thank you for stopping by.
Hello, Governor.
Captain of the Millennial Fulcrum, and then there's the what would be the other one? Frankie gifting out.
Frankie, hello, Governor.
4 months feels too short. Thank you for keeping me entertained during my new lockdown and curfew. Frankie, we got you, brother. We got you. Too
Frankie.
bad we couldn't watch that. Good damn! There we go.
There's the hype
train. Before we even start,
Frankie, tune in on Saturday night. I'm doing another drunk stream. I will entertain you.
Oh man, and we're already broke level 1. We got a minute 36 till the start of the show. We're gonna be going quiet here in 30 seconds. We're gonna need you guys to keep up the hype.
Chew effing chew. Didn't get a drink. I went to the fridge to get a drink and I didn't come back with one. I have to wait.
Why don't you go get a drink? Now. You got a minute.
I'll wait until the first one. Oh, Real Go Nerdy. Hello, Governor. Zaz is in the house. Hello, Governor.
10 bits. 10 bits from Real Going Nerdy or a shiny dime.
Hey, this is Ricky P from twitch.tv/RickyP, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast. This show was recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. If you haven't relicked Ark yet, you should relic Ark. Take it away, boys.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Podcast.
The holidays are over and things are returning to normal in the game.
And the same to normal on the show as well.
We celebrate our 100th episode.
We look back a little on We look back a little bit on the 100 shows, reminisce of the beginnings,
the middles,
and the now, because we ain't ending this yet, Neil.
We will also look at the response from the forums as Doja Fett smacks down yet another naysayer.
Yes, and the latest Galactic Challenge is in fact a challenge this time.
But it still does have the best go Mando feats, which some of us not a fan of.
And ladies and gentlemen, with our 100th episode, we have a treat for our incoming transmission.
But we still are not going to reveal who it is, unless this is a replay and you read who it is. But our live audience has no clue who it is.
Even though I gave a very dead-on clue in the Patreon chat.
Speaking of Patreon's chat, we will get to the Patreon's Choice questions, as always, on the bridge.
And announce next week's guest as well.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 100 of the Escape Podcast. I'm your host, The Nev, and as always, I am joined by my hetero life partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how are you this fine evening?
I'm excited for what's coming up, Neil. It's a good day to be a Padawan. You guys are going to want to be here for the incoming transmission. I can't tell you who. I cannot tell you who.
Mum's the word.
We have a hype train. We do have to acknowledge, as we record live on Twitch, we do have a hype train going as we speak. I'm going to go through all the list here. Geek Girl started us out by gifting a sub. Frankie resubbed. Cascade gave out a sub. JJ Manners resubscribed for his seventh month. Real Going Nerdy with a shiny dime. Frankie with $2.95. JJ giving out a sub. And then JoJo gives a sub to the Escape Podbot. Solo Base with 100 bits. Wolf Fell with 100 bits. And Real Going Nerdy with 104. Thank you. We're currently in the middle. We have 2.5 minutes approximately left on a level 3 hype train. Dickie Darkside resubscribing. Thank you so much.
Did
Episode
you catch
100.
Solo and Wolf?
What's that?
Did you catch Solo and Wolf as well?
Yes. Solo
biddies.
with 100 and Wolf with 100. So
Bitty.
Yep, it is. And then Flair gifting out subs, and JJ Manners gifting out subs. So many awesome people. We thank you very much for all your support and the support that you've given us for 100 episodes. Neil, can you believe we've reached the centennial mark of episodes?
It was inevitable.
Well,
it was inevitable. Loving you guys. Yes. I mean, I always knew that we were going to make it. The question is, will we make 1,000? You know, when we're old and decrepit and, walking around on our Zimmer frames and stuff.
Let me pull up a calculator here. That'd be 900 more divided by 52. You think the game will still be around in 17 years and 3 months?
Ooh, well, just because the game's not going to be around doesn't mean the show's not going to be around. We'll find something else to do. We'll find something else to talk about. Another game, who knows? There's other Star Wars games out there. It's not just SWGOH, 17 years from now, we'll be, hardcore, big time streamers. We'll be covering some weird, freakishly other new Star Wars game. I mean, come on, let's be honest. 17 years from now, it won't be this game that everyone's talking about. It'll be some other Star Wars game that everyone's talking about,
Well, a lot of people thought that was Squadrons, though, and now we see where that went.
Yeah, no, it's getting better. The problem is that where the game is now is where it should have been when they launched it. If Squadrons where it is now, if they launched Squadrons the way it is now, then a lot more people would have stayed because Friends can play Friends now, whereas when they launched it, Friends couldn't play Friends. And, Friends and even frenemies can play each other now. Can't wait to start the Ashes series on Squadrons. That's going to be a lot of fun.
JJ Manners, thank you for gifting the sub. Dr. Feelgood subscribed for 10 months. They are one of our longest standing subscribers, and Real Going Nerdy with 201 bits. Grim says that it'll be the Escape 76 cast.
Hello, Governor. Yeah, no, it will. It'll be something like that, It will. There will be, 17 years from now, there will be some other game that we're covering from our Zimmer frames or, from our old age pensioners' homes, We will. We will. I mean, we'll be streaming Grandpas. Something along those lines. I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Just yelling at digital kids to get off of our lawns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'll be it. So we won't be doing we won't be streaming from the cockpit of the Millennial Fulcrum. We'll be streaming from our garden chairs on our porch, yelling at... We could so do that now with our green screens. We could so put ourselves on a porch. Just, that would be fun. And, we wouldn't need all of the aging technology to make us look like old men, because we would be old men. Like, literally, we'd be old men. So, yeah, I could see the fun in that. But, yeah, let's get to 200, and then we'll talk about if we're going to make it to 1,000. But, yeah, 100. Loving it. Brilliant. Great. Cracking. The evolution of the show from 1 to 100 has been interesting, to say the least. From my humble beginnings of story time with the Nev. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I used to be storyteller. It used to be story time with the Nev.
That it did, and it was, let's see, I'm looking back. You were on first. You were on episode 10.
Yes, my first episode was 10. So technically, this is only my 90th episode. So we'll have to celebrate at 110. Because 110 will be your 110th, but it will be my 100th episode.
Wow. Hellenix just threw 20 nickels at us. 20 shiny nickels. Oh my gosh. And JJ Manners gifted a sub. We got 40 seconds left, probably 30 by the time you guys hear this, to see if we can crack level 4 for our 100th episode. But the first show was broadcast February 15th. And Thaddeus from Going Nerdy was our first ever guest.
Yes. Which is why he's like there all over the show. He's there at the end.
That is true. He recorded that.
Technically, he's not. He's in every show because he's because he does the end bit for the outro, doesn't he? So technically, Thaddeus is in every single show.
Well, we just we completed level 3 of that hype train. Thank you so very, very much, guys. We really do appreciate.
Love you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Our second guest was Xylo Takedown, then Cubs fan Han, And then we had Thaddeus on again. Following that was Urzatron. We had the guys from the SWGOH Sheets. Oh man, who was this? Who was let me see who episode 8 was. Episode 8. Man, I don't know who this guy is. Horaspex? Oh, Hellenix was episode 8. A lot of people have been with us from the beginning. And it's so great. I just want to make sure that I'm thanking everybody who's been with us since the beginning. Syndicate Games, Marco, Macias, SWGOH.help was on the show. DPK and Hellenix were on an episode together. We had RSG. Then episode 16. Episode 16 was somebody by the name of CG Carrie. It took us only 16 episodes before CG stopped by. And we were so grateful for that. We got to talk about the new Darkside Geonosis territory battle, which I'm still loving to this day. I know you not as much, Neil, but
me not so much.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like Darkside territory battle more now than I did initially, because obviously my account has grown since then, so I can actually do it. But when it first came out, I couldn't do jack on it. So yeah, when they bring out a new game mode and you can't do anything in it, you kind of don't really care about that game mode until you can do something in it.
Yeah. Then we had Operation Metaverse, and then we had Crumb. Crumb showed up on the show to talk about their gamers giving back. Darth Micro, Okadit, Dojison. Some of these names are bringing back bringing back names.
The nostalgia is strong.
Nevrock and Darth Stevel.
God, Nevrock. Yeah, there's a name from the past.
Meowbaka from Hoth Ski Patrol. Who was this one? This one was... then we had Mandalore on.
Andy.
Oh my gosh. Wow. And then we had you back on episode 26.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 27 was the Llama and Zed along with McMole. But then, all of a sudden, Scotty wasn't able to make it. We had Cloud City Gaming. We had the episode where Heinze filled in. And then, the episode where Scotty quit. Episode 30. We miss you, Scotty. We truly do. We're thankful for everything that you did.
And then you replaced the Aussie with a Brit.
Yep. Do you remember the first official guest that you and I had?
No. Not off the top of my head, I can't remember.
You want to take a shot in the dark?
I have absolutely no idea. Genuinely, I have absolutely no idea.
It's kind of come full circle.
What, the first guest that we had? Are you sure? What was it, Carrie?
No.
The Warrior
that we had was RSG.
RSG, right? Okay.
RSG and apropos.
Okay.
Other names, I'm not going to repeat names now, but other names that we've had since then. We had It's Just Ian. We had Clash. We had Warrior. We had Cytor. We had Biscuit Weasel. Yep, Flair's taking credit for our switch to Twitch. We haven't even gotten to that point. We had Yeti, Kirby from CWL.
What episode did we start doing? What episode did we start going live on YouTube?
We started going live on YouTube. The first episode that we went live on YouTube was episode 46.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 46, that guest, there was none. There was no guest because we were unsure about YouTube and all that.
Going live and stuff, yeah.
Yep, that was the one after Deneb, and Deneb gave me the trip to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. That was not a good show. I had 27 hotkeys and I had to remember. Yeah, that was not good. That was not good. 27.
Buzzsaw
hotkeys.
still refuses to be on our podcast. That's okay.
Who?
Some guy named Buzzsaw.
All right, okay.
They're not a CG mole. E-Grace Gamer also joined us. Andy Beads, Gridden, Black Mamba. Black Mamba, during episode 56, do you remember the claim to fame that Black Mamba had back on episode 56? Thank you, Galaxy Heroes.
Thanks for the biddies. No, what was it?
He had only ever had 4 losses total in GAC.
In GA, yeah, no, he had a really, really great. He had a brilliant record back then. Yeah, he did have a very, very, very good record back then. But you got to remember that back then it wasn't a GAC; it was GA.
That's true.
You got to remember before. This is why we're old hats at this, because I remember when there was no Grand Arena Championships. It was just Grand Arena, and they would just roll it one week after another, and it would get changed from week to week, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. And Black Mamba
by the
had
way,
a really, really
hello
good
to Mustang Groot, always a great listener. So yeah, we've made it to 100. It feels good, and wow, Operation Metaverse rating us with 35 members for 100th episode. Thank you, Operation Metaverse. Thank you, Gom, I believe that is.
Yep, that will be Gom. Hello, Governor.
And we're getting follows from iZeta and Savitar 402. As we're going to be pushing towards we just eclipsed 826.
Mm-hmm.
Belvinger also following.
It'd be nice to reach 1,000 before my birthday. My birthday is March the 13th. I want 1,000 subs 1,000 followers before my birthday. That'd be nice.
Oh, it'd be even better if they did it for mine, but I'm not going to tell everybody when my birthday is. But it's coming up soon.
I have no quirks about telling. My birthday's March 13th. I just hope to God it's not a Friday this year. I hate it when my birthday's on Friday.
Gom's saying that he feels bad for streaming at the same time as our iconic milestone. Gom, it's okay. We appreciate you. We're glad that it's not during a GAC week. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. It's nice to get the raid. Cheers for the raid, buddy.
No. Prime Force is telling you something about Saturday, Neil.
Saturday, Nev. Yeah. You heard me right. Drunk stream Saturday. I've got the honey bourbon ready.
While playing 76 or Fortnite.
Yeah, I have the honey bourbon ready. I'm going to do my dailies, and by the end of my dailies, I should be nicely drunk, and then it's straight onto Lemmings. Because it's actually quite a lot of fun to play Lemmings when you're intoxicated.
Yeah. We then had we then had a little bit of a bump in the road along the way. The Arnold situation came out 2/3 of the way through. We did a what do you call it? We did a special episode on that with the llama. A live llama, nonetheless. And And since then, I mean, we then broke 1,000 subs on YouTube, which we were grateful for.
Yeah, that was a nice moment, that. Because then I chopped all my hair off live, didn't I?
And then you chopped, and that's what I was about to get to. Then at that point, you became Nev's father. Or not Nev's father, Gridden's father.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Gridzy's dad, yeah.
You showed him how to grow his hair.
Yeah. Beard was gone. The beard was already I preemptively got rid of the beard. Because I knew I was going to be cutting my hair. Because I don't like to have long hair and a beard. You see, long hair and a beard goes well, but long hair without the beard just kind of looks a little bit, not right. I don't know what. It just don't look right. Just doesn't. I can't do it. I can't pull it off. I cannot pull off a ponytail without a beard. It just doesn't work.
So, looking back at these 100 episodes, is there a favorite moment in time for you, Neil?
I can't remember what the episode was. I can't remember. In fact, actually, no. It would have been it was my birthday. My birthday.
We got you a new microphone.
Yeah. No. That wasn't that was the microphone. That was the microphone stand.
Oh, that was the microphone stand.
My microphone arm had completely snapped where it goes into the cradle. So I was propping it up with like bodge tape and rubber bands and all sorts of crap. I had like pom-poms stuffed in to stop it from falling over because I couldn't stand up because the arm would just want to flop straight away. But no, if you remember, right at the end of the show, you called Carrie. You dragged Carrie into the show on my birthday.
I did.
You dragged Carrie in. She was just randomly doing stuff, and you FaceTimed her, and you were like, "I got a surprise for you on your birthday," and I'm like, "What?" And then Carrie came on the show.
Your birthday coincided with what we were calling 1 year of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roughly. Yeah. So that was a fun episode. That was definitely a fun episode.
Dickie Darkside's favorite episode was the Santa Claus episode. Anybody in chat, let us know what your favorite what your favorite episode was and all that. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. But all right, so we've covered the fact that as we've mentioned, this is episode 100. We still have a huge thing coming up. That's not going to be too crazy in the works. But let's take a break and get to the topics at hand about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. What do you say?
Yep, okie dokie.
All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content. And also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/The Escape Pod to sign up.
Have you been interested in getting items 3D printed but haven't wanted to buy one of those expensive printers? Are you looking for a literally one-of-a-kind tech gift gadget? Evil Genius 3D Printing and Gadgets is your one-stop shop for both of those items. Nerd-owned and Escape Pod approved, put Lenny the Evil Genius to work for you. If you can dream it, he could possibly make it. Contact Lenny at evilgenius3dprinting@gmail.com for more information. That's evilgenius3dprinting@gmail.com. Get something unique in your hands.
Hey, I'm Andy Beads.
Hey, I'm Danish Bobo.
Hey, I'm Ando.
Hey, I'm Jake.
I'm Bringer Dev.
Jake Johnson TX.
I'm Ramby2307.
Spartan Z here.
I am Mr. Jikabachi.
Star Wars Galaxy Yeti.
I'm Player Gaming Embers.
I'm Lazy Turtle.
I'm Mudbum.
I mean, come on. They already know me. I'm the bloody co-host.
And we are part of
the GAC Chain Gang.
We're a group of streamers who stream our Grand Arena on Twitch
and continue the chain
into the next streamer.
We have all types of accounts for you to enjoy, from the big whales to the
small accounts.
But we're all here to provide entertainment
and have a good time.
The Grand Arena Chain Gang is proud to be part
of the Escape Pod Castaways Content Creator Network. Stop by and see them, won't you?
This is Hellenix.
#shameless self-promotion.
And you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast, part of the Escape Pod Castaways Network.
The Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gents. Enough about us. Let's talk about the game, because we didn't get an awful lot of news, but we did get some good news, didn't we, Paul?
We did. They returned from their break. We now have CG back after the holidays, but I have to laugh because Doja Fett really, really smacked down somebody who was just being a jerk on the forums.
Was it the official forum or the Reddit?
Yeah, the official forum. Somebody named Ravens1113. Mm-hmm. The game? Oh no, the game is not dead. The devs' understanding of their own game and Doja Fett's communication the last few weeks, that's dead. And he responded, "Oh, you mean the last few weeks where I specifically stated we'd be gone for the holidays?"
Burn!
Guys, they owe us support to a game, but they also definitely, are certainly deserving to go on Christmas vacation. They gave us a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, all the assault battles, and they lasted 2 days each. I amassed an extra Zeta just literally over Christmas break. I don't know about you, Neil.
Everybody should get at least some time off during holiday periods. I mean, unless you want to. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a choice. I'm not suggesting for a second that you should have to take time off, because there are workaholics out there. There are people that like to keep themselves busy with work. But it's still nice to get a little bit of time off over the holiday period. I would never deny anybody, that does any job in any profession, to not have some time off over the holiday period. Because it's. And I'm not talking about it, from a religious holiday perspective. I'm just thinking about it from, the social convention. The social convention is everybody gets a bit of a break at this time of the year, and it's usually the end of December until the beginning of January. Everybody has a little bit of time off. So, yeah, everybody should be entitled to at least a little bit of time off. Yeah. I mean, you've usually got a couple people on call, but they're still away, They're on call for, Uber emergencies and
yes,
and
the
like
skeleton, as we say in the entertainment industry, the skeleton crew.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ex-military, and I've been on duty over a Christmas. That doesn't mean that I'm going into work every single day and doing 9 to 5 every single day. It means, I'm sat back in the block and I've got a pager. And if the phones went down, or if the emergency phone system went down, I would get beeped. somebody would page me and I would go and fix it. It's not like I'm going to work. It just meant I couldn't drink. It sucks over Christmas when you're in the army.
So I'm glad that you did get your Dr. Pepper in the break. We were talking about that in the pre-show. You didn't have time to get your drink.
No, I didn't have time to get my drink.
So what good news were you talking about, Neil?
What do you mean? Oh, the good news I was talking about? Well, Kuill and IG-11 finally got dropped on nodes, and I love them. I think that they are sweet. Kuill is...
Before we get into where they are, can we all collectively agree that their bonus drops of Kuill and IG-11 sucked?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the bonus drops sucked. I mean, the bonus drops absolutely sucked. They really, really did. I mean, I only just crept into 4 stars on both of them on my main account, and that's with doing a refresh. Because I've been doing like single refreshes because I've been farming for relic materials. Most end game people are farming for relic materials. You're not really farming for a character. You're just farming for relic materials. So I would farm and then I would do a refresh. And doing that since they've been on the bonus, since they've been as a bonus on nodes, I've literally only just crept over into 4 stars. So it's nice to actually be able to, farm them now. And I'm loving the nodes that they're on. I was expecting like 16. I really was expecting 16 on Cantina and a 20 energy node for these 2 characters. I really was. So to see Kuill on a 12 node with a ship. Whoa! Who just dropped 1,000 biddies?
That would be our old friend D Popeye, who we did have on the show as well.
Sweet, thanks for the biddies, brother.
I hope Teddy is doing well, Popeye. Thank you very much for the 1,000 biddies during our 100th episode. That means a lot.
Yeah. So Kuill is on a 12 energy node, so it's 60. It's 60. It's only 60 at farming, but not only that, he got swapped in for I'm a Gunding. And that was the node that the TIE Bomber was already on. So a 60 farm, because it's a 12 energy node, and you're farming for Kuill and the TIE Bomber, that is a beautiful node. I mean, it's a low node. It's only a 12 energy, so the gear on it isn't that good. It's just blue, crappy blue and green gear that most veterans have got thousands of. I know I've got thousands of them, so the gear isn't great. But, a 12 energy node with a good ship and a good character on it, that is brilliant. That is just sweet. I'm loving that. And,
I did get them all the way. I had really good tip nights back when I worked at the restaurant, and so therefore I put a little bit into Kuill and a little bit to IG-88. And then I did take some Christmas money, early Christmas money, and got them the rest of the way. I do and unlocked Beskar Mando and JKL on the same day. That was the day before Christmas. Christmas Eve.
I'm liking it because not on my main account, but on my alt account, I literally just finished farming both Carl Weathers, Grief Karga, and Mando. Original Mando, not BAM. So I can literally switch my farm from the 2 nodes that I was doing them straight over to Kuill and IG-11. It's beautiful. It's beautiful because I was already farming the node that I'm a Gundy was on specifically for the TIE Bomber. So it's like nothing. It's beautiful. That's why I like it. It's not done anything different to my farming on my alt account at all. So yeah, I must admit I'm really loving I'm loving the nodes that are on. I think that the nodes that they got put on are sweet. I hope they do the same with Moff Gideon. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they do the same with Moff Gideon. I'd love to see Moff Gideon getting put on a node, a 12 or a 16 with a ship. I think that'd be brilliant.
What about the Y-Wing, Rebel Y-Wing? That would be great.
No, the Rebel Y-Wing's already on a double node. with Grief Karga.
Which one?
Grief Karga.
Okay, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah,
then...
Grief Karga's already on a double node with them. So, wow! Buzzsaw, not CG Mole, coming in with 1,000 biddies.
Thank you very much, Buzzsaw.
Thank you very much, Buzzsaw.
That puts both Popeye and Buzzsaw as co-captains of the Millennial Fulcrum for the month of January.
They could put him on the node with the BLT, with the bacon sandwich.
That's the one that I'm.
Is that the one that they could put? I mean, that'd be. That's
the Galactic Republic one.
Yeah, the GRY wing. Yeah, that would be sweet if they did that. That'd be brilliant. That'd be really, really good. I just want to see more of this from I really want to see more of this from CG. When they get the new characters, double them up on ship nodes. Because, I mean, it's great for... I mean, don't get me wrong. It's great for veterans. Maybe not necessarily you've already got one of the characters. Maybe you've already got the ship. But I think that it's a good thing for CG to do because it's great. It's good retention of new players coming into the game that are starting farming from scratch. It's a good way to retain new players. It really, really is.
Fimart says that he would love to see Gideon on 7D, which is also and I agree with this, the Palpmobile.
That'd be Is the Palpmobile on a node of its own? Is he?
It is. Palpmobile
then yeah.
On its own node.
Dr. Zeppers, thanks for the big sub. So, I think that would be great. I do. Just keep putting these characters on nodes with ships that, don't have a character with them. Keep doing that. Just keep, every time CG brings out a new marquee character, if they keep doing that, it is a surefire way of keeping and retaining new people coming to the game. Because new people coming to the game look to content creators maybe not necessarily like us, but they look to content creators like Thaddeus and like the Gambit crew and Galaxy of Heroes, because they're doing farming guides. Those guys do farming
and Revan
guides.
the Legend. Revan the Legend just started. Yeah. We love that guy. I don't know if we mentioned that he got to 85, so he'll be playing GAC coming up soon.
Yeah, so all those content creators out there that are currently doing farming guides, because loads of people have started new. I mean, Ram B did the same thing. Ram B started, a new account, and he regularly plays it, so you can go and watch how he's doing with his new one. I'm relatively certain that, he's doing it free to play. He's not paying anything on it. So you can see content creators with their new accounts from a beginning, and you can see, see how quickly they farm things. So the more people, the more times that they add marquees to ship nodes, the more content creators will talk about those, and it draws in all of those new players, and it keeps them going. Whoa, Popeye coming in with another 1,000 biddies. Thanks a lot, buddy. Showing the love. You're going to break Paul. I need my co-host for episode 100. You're going to break him. You know how easy he is. He's, soft and squishy. He's very easy to break.
Thank you so much, Pops. We really appreciate it. And again, I hope that Teddy is doing well. He even put a dog in it because he knows that I love his dog, Teddy.
So it's great. It's on the Chiron underneath. My lovingly and affectionate nickname for Kuill and IG-11, because people have been coming up with some absolutely atrocious nicknames for them. Like,
I haven't heard these.
Kuill G and stuff like. It's like no, they are the babysitters. It's short. It's simple. It's easy to say. People keep coming up with really convoluted nicknames for IG-11 and Kuill by mashing the letters and the numbers together. It's like, no, they're the babysitters. It's that simple. Popeye with another 1,000 biddies. Has he just made himself the captain of the Millennial Fulcrum?
He was the captain of the Millennial Fulcrum.
He was the captain, and he still is. There we go.
Yeah, but Kuill and IG-11, the babysitter bros. I like that.
Yeah, no, the babysitter bros sounds more sounds more, tougher, doesn't it? Because they are, when you think about it, they are hard as nails.
And it's better than the the Land's End Bros or the Abercrombie Bros.
Yeah, no, the babysitter bros. Yeah, the babysitter bros. Yeah.
Grace Gamer says when Beskar is the lead, they're the Babysitters Club.
Nanny boys. No, Zaz. That's wet. No. The babysitter bros. Mustang Group took what I made it better. Because I didn't put no IP on that. The babysitters. Anybody can use that.
Pyronally and Grim both chiming in, showing us some love for episode 100. Did you happen to read the show prep room that I set up where all the stuff that CG posts and all that comes in?
No, I didn't, but I can if you want me to.
It's it's where I found that Doja Fett just seriously burned that Raven guy.
What am I looking for? What is it? Show prep.
So what? Just in the bottom under the bullpen, the show prep thing. A lot of people are complaining about this Galactic Legend, or not Galactic Legend, Galactic Challenge this time around.
Yeah, I mean it is like ridiculously hard. I mean, what I tend to do is I take in my best squad and I go straight for tier 7. So I just take my best squad, go straight for tier 7 to see if I can just win it with my best squad. And they didn't even get a turn. So I figured, okay, I'm not doing it. So I went back to tier 6. Still didn't get a turn. I went to tier 5. I still didn't get a turn. I did not get to take a turn until tier 4. And then I wiped the floor with them. So tiers 5, 6, and 7 with my best squad on all 3 of my ults, I didn't actually get to take a turn until tier 4. That's how difficult. I mean, it's literally impossible. I cannot do 5, 6, or 7 on my ults because they do not get to take a turn. So but I'm happy. I've got my 30 shards, so I don't care.
Well, okay, so they are talking. People have been talking about the fact that it's hard. But Doja is defending it as being more of a puzzle style Galactic Challenge rather than brute force. And I can see that. Grace Gamer makes the recommendation of a new to lead with the fastest potency set you have on Nest. Throw Han, Chewie, and Bosk in there. Bosk to taunt, Han, Chewie to play off of each other.
335 speed to go first. You see, I don't have a single character above 330 on any of my accounts. Actually, no. One of my Darth Revans is over 330. But that's Darth Revan. So I don't have a character that is 335 speed. So it doesn't matter how intriguing or interesting or theory crafty in nature the puzzle is. I do not have something that fast.
Dr. Jojo did mention that Django lead. If you burn them, they won't gain the turn meter chain. That is true.
Okay, I'll give that a try then. I will give that a try.
And Enwit does make a good point. I'm going to paraphrase there. It's a puzzle only if you have the right characters geared up. If you don't, you can forget about it.
Yeah. And I'm with Hellenix. I'm with Hellenix. I don't remod for Gal Chow. I don't. I just don't. I don't remod for that.
Did you just call them Gal Chows?
Yeah, because he did. He referred to.
I just want to point out you finally used my word for
No. But I didn't. It wasn't something that came off. I was reading a comment. I was just reading what Hellenix said. That was it.
Dickie Darkside says it's a puzzle. When you put the pieces together, it's a picture of me looking unimpressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that works. That works. Yeah. No, I just. For me, it's just. I'll remod for. I will. Hey, when it comes to Grand Arena, I'll remod for Grand Arena, but I'm not remodding for anything else. Although saying that, all of my modding is for Grand Arena. I don't even mod for Squad Arena.
You did remod for unlocking characters.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, I'll remod for I'll remod for a legendary, but I'm putting the exact same mods straight back on the previous characters. I mean, you have to remod for the JKL event. It's as simple as that. You can't just go in with some random mods on your Relic 3 characters for the JKL event. You got to remod. You had to remod. I had to remod 2 counts. I just made sure that I saved the loadout for every single character I took mods off so that I could clear everything and put them back on. So, yeah.
Oh, Fimart also points out that if you are going for the Fulcrum title, you can use Tier 1 to finish the 1,000 Empire kills with Ahsoka present.
Can you?
That is also another fun thing that you can do with these.
Oh, right. You know what? I never thought of that. That is a good point. I never thought of that. Oh God. Some of those quests are so ridiculously old. Some of those quests are old, but yeah, that's not bad. That's quite clever, actually. That is very clever. I'm going to have to look at those old quests and see how many of those old quests can be done using galactic challenges, because you can keep doing the same. You can do them over and 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 over again. In fact, think about it. You could do the obviously is there a stormtrooper in the lineup?
I can go check. You entertain the masses while I double check.
Okay, so pause, because there's I'm sure there's an Ewok one. I'm sure there's an Ewok one where the Ewoks have to defeat 100 stormtroopers.
No, it's a range trooper, Gideon, Piet, Veers, and Death Trooper.
Oh, bugger!
At least I think that's Veers.
Damn it! Because I would love to do that, but I ain't wasting energy on some crappy low node.
Yeah, it is Veers.
With Ewoks just to complete that feat. Yeah, that's why a lot of them are old and outdated. They brought those. When you think about it, they are old and outdated for most veteran players, because most veteran players had already completed every single node, both light and dark side, and then they introduced those feats. And most veterans aren't gonna go back to 6 energy nodes to defeat 100 stormtroopers with bloody Ewoks. It's just not gonna happen.
And still, there's also the fact that people aren't going. People are simming the raid and simming tank and simming pit to be able to get those, achievements.
And the hyperdrive bundle. The hyperdrive bundle cuts all of that out. You buy the hyperdrive bundle, and it completes all of the nodes up to, is it 8? It completes all of the nodes except for the last one.
That's true, but you and I were talking earlier, and we talked about, you and I, what has shaped content creation as we know right now, right? Over these past 100 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I am on the side to say that I feel that the hyperdrive bundle killed content creation as we knew it then.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. Because farming guides went out the window. They did. They just went absolutely out the window, because at the time, the majority of farming guides were. I mean, I did a farming guide to get a decent. I was doing a farming guide, with a mind to Grand Arena, but other content creators did farming guides with a mind to like Squad Arena, or with a mind to territory battles. So different content creators would do different farming guides, based around, areas that you wanted to get something out of the game from. I mean, obviously, Warriors, that, the pillar system was to encompass everything. It was it was the best farming guide because it was the most comprehensive farming guide. It was a farming guide to help with everything, with Squad Arena, with Fleet Arena, with Grand Arena and Territory Battles, because it had every faction needed to do something in there, and obviously keeping a mind to various different legendaries. But the Hyperdrive bundle just blew that out of the water, because you instantly got characters for 5 stars that would enable you to unlock, what was it? I mean, you could unlock GMY, Thrawn, Palpatine, R2-D2. There's 4 legendaries. Straight off the bat, 4 legendaries. So you buy the Hyperdrive bundle, and there are instantly 4 legendaries that you could go for. I mean, you might not get them. I mean, some of them, the Thrawn one definitely would have been RNG dependent, because buying the Hyperdrive bundle, sure, it'll give you 80 characters at 5 stars, level 80, but it doesn't give you mods.
It doesn't give you mods.
It doesn't give you mods.
I mean, it really... if the Hyperdrive bundle were not introduced, you would still be doing your daily show.
Yeah, no, I would. If the Hyperdrive bundle would never come into existence, I would still be doing I would still probably be doing my daily show. But once the Hyperdrive bundle came out, it just absolutely, it just destroyed my daily content. It absolutely destroyed it. I'm happily going away. I think I was around about day 100 on the Horde account. I think I was around about day 100 on the Horde account. I was up around level 79, and then this Hyperdrive bundle dropped, and I went from being in the top 20 of my Squad Arena shard to outside the top 200 in like 48 hours. It was ridiculous. And that was it. It was gone. I mean, I was able to cling on for dear life in Fleet Arena using that account. But Squad Arena, forget about it. Just that was it.
Let's look. The Hyperdrive bundle. Do you think that it hurt your chances for GAC, like Enwit says?
No, not really. Because I was already well on my way, and because I was able to maintain a top 10. / top 20 in Fleet Arena, I was still making a relatively decent free-to-play credit income from the Fleet Arena. And then the second I got my 5-star malevolence, boom, I've been able to get number 1 religiously.
Right, but what about GAC? That's what we're talking about. Grand Arena.
It didn't harm me. It didn't harm me in GAC. It did not harm me in GAC. It might have harmed me if I was like if I was in a lower division, a higher division. But the Hyperdrive bundle dropped while I was around. I think I was in Division 9 when the Hyperdrive bundle dropped, because I remember Cubs and Arnold both dropped Hyperdrive bundles on brand new accounts and got Jedi Knight Revans day 1 with Hyperdrive bundles. And they were
plus a little bit of whaling.
And they were instantly in the exact day 1. They were in the same division as me. Warrior had an ult as well that was similar. But yeah, no. So he didn't Hyperdrive bundle his ult though.
And that's but it really truly changed content creation because you didn't have your daily show. The farming guides that people put out there are now only for free to play that don't get distracted by the new shinies.
Yeah, Saitor was putting together Saitor was working on the next iteration of the Pillar Guide.
Yeah, that's when we had him on.
We had him on because he'd been given, he'd had a conversation with Warrior, because Warrior wasn't going to do a new update to the 5-pillar system. He wasn't going to do it, and he'd had a conversation with Saitor, and he basically said to, the pillar system, it's all yours. I'm not going to do anything. Have at it. So Saitor at the time, a couple of months before the Hyperdrive bundle dropped, he was working really, really hard, collecting huge amounts of data from the community that he had surrounding him on his Discord server, and then the hyperdrive bundle dropped, and everybody, he just dropped off. I mean, it was like
he did. He disappeared.
He just disappeared because, and I don't blame him. I mean, he'd put so much work and effort, and his community, his Discord community, had put so much work and effort into all of the spreadsheets and all of the data in preparation for the updated version of the 5-pillar system, and that the hyperdrive bundle just destroyed any need for it. It did. It just destroyed any need for it. Because the whole point was behind the new pillar system was to just make it new and improved and allow for people who were going to be free to play to be competitive in Squad Arena and to be competitive in Fleet Arena. And that's just not possible with the Hyperdrive bundle. It ended competitive free to play in the Fleet and the Squad Arena.
All right.
Just ended it.
Well, we're coming up on a part where people are going to go nuts in just a moment.
Yeah.
Guys, get your friends. Get your friends, because when we come back, we are going to have the best 100th incoming transmission. Well, it'll technically be our 99th, but 100th episode incoming transmission that we've had in a while, and we can't wait to see you guys and share this interview, which will be live in just a moment right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hello, Escape Padawans. It is the Llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Castaways are on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, you can catch us on YouTube and on Twitch every week streaming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed, your favorite new Galaxy of Heroes show GA Center, and so much more. Come catch us on the web.
Are you a member of Team Paul or Team Neil? Maybe you prefer story time with the llama, or dabble in the buttery side of the Force with Biscuit Weasel. Or maybe you like the Escape Pod talents from Down Under like Heinzie and Scotty. No matter who you support, you can get one of my designs from the Escape Podcast merch store. Just go to escapepodcastaways.com, click on the merch link, and it will take you to the TeePublic site where you can support me, Mrs. Anthony, also known as Critty K. Also be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast's Discord server weekly to vote for my latest shirts in the Design Derby on Woot. Links for both of these are down below. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today, because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
Back to school. The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello, Escape Padawans, and welcome back to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. This week on the Journey Through the Journey Guide series, we are going to be covering the Aggressive Negotiations Legendary event for Padme Amidala. Now, this event requires 5 characters at 7 stars, gear level 12, and ability level 8 with Mark 5 mods. Now, this event requires Separatist characters. I suggest, to make this event as easy as possible, you take in Separatist droids. So you're going to want to take in General Grievous, B1 Battle Droid, B2 Super Battle Droid, Droideka, and Magna Guard. The difficulty on this event is medium to hard, mostly because of RNG, and if you use the Separatist droids, it really will make the event as easy as possible for you versus using a different team like Geos or a mixture with a new lead. Let's take a deep dive into Padme Amidala herself. She's a light side character, a support character, a leader, and part of the Galactic Republic faction. Her basic ability, Aggressive Negotiations, deals physical damage to the target enemy, which cannot be evaded. Also, all Galactic Republic allies gain 10% protection up, and it does not stack with itself for 1 turn. Her first special Cunning Plan dispels all debuffs on light side allies. They recover 50% health, and for each Republic ally and each debuff dispelled, Galactic Republic allies gain protection up, which is 10% stacking for 1 turn. Her second special, Graceful Assault, deals physical damage to the target enemy and stuns them for 1 turn. This cannot be copied or dispelled. Then it calls all light side allies with protection up and Jedi Knight Anakin to assist. Her leadership ability, Unwavering Courage, grants light side allies plus 50% max health, and while they have protection up, they resist all debuffs and cannot be critically hit. At the start of their turn, Galactic Republic allies dispel protection up buffs on themselves and gain 1 stack of courage for each 5% protection up dispelled this way. Courage cannot be copied, dispelled, or prevented. When an ally has courage, whenever they damage a target enemy with an ability, for each 5 stacks of courage, they dispel 5 stacks and deal bonus damage equal to 40% of the target's max health. With her unique ability, Always a Choice, Padme is immune to fear. Whenever a light side ally loses protection up, they recover 5% health. Allies cannot gain or lose bonus turn meter. Also, whenever an enemy attacks out of turn against a Galactic Republic ally, that ally will gain 10% protection up and does not stack. It increases to 40% if Padme is the leader. This protection up cannot be prevented or dispelled. She's got 2 Zetas, one on her leadership ability Unwavering Courage, and the second one is on her unique Always a Choice. As far as modding goes, you're really going to want to give her a lot of health and protection. You want her to last as long as possible so she continue to give those buffs and health up and protection up to the Galactic Republic allies. And as you can probably guess, she is best utilized as a Galactic Republic leader. The kind of standard cookie-cutter team is going to be her in the lead with C-3PO, Ahsoka Tano, Jedi Knight Anakin, and the 5th can kind of rotate. If you can afford to spare General Kenobi, he really is the best fit, but you can also use any other Galactic Republic character, such as Shaak Ti. You can even use Plo or someone like that, but like I said, General Kenobi really is the best fit. That's all for me. Tune in next week for more Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
Hello there, ladies and gents. The Master of Ceremonies currently has nobody to introduce at the moment because our guest has been delayed. It does happen from time to time.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Yeah, I'm sure that our guest will be along soon. We hope that they'll be along soon. Anyway, that's what we're just waiting for them. We're just waiting for them. I had to take the image off because I don't want to give it away until they're actually there on the screen.
Right.
So I had to quickly remove the image. But we're frantically we're frantically trying to get them back. So you just need to.
I've messaged them on Discord,
and I'm trying to get a hold of them on Twitter because we don't know.
I have egg on my face.
Is it egg? Is it egg or is it a full omelet? Okay, let's find out.
Well, Geek Girl says it's not it's a live show. It's not a live show without the technical difficulties. This isn't a technical difficulty. This is waiting for the guest.
Yes, waiting for the guest.
But yeah, Noob sabotaged our guest. That's the story that we'll go with. And damn that real life stuff from Geek Girl. So The TepCon hosts are always the most professional at their jobs. Thank you, Flair, for that, for the comment. Let's continue to chat here. We kind of did our we did our look back at the year that was.
Mm-hmm. And we did our look forward. Did we?
We did do our look forward.
No, we did. We did do a look. We did. Well, sorry, a look forward. It wasn't so much a look forward, more a talking about what we'd like to see going forward regarding the game. Because I'm sure we mentioned that we all want to see a fleet ship raid would be lovely. Ship raid would be so nice. It would be so nice. And then obviously we were talking about what the potential Galactic Legends are going to be this year. Because you are under the impression that they're going to announce something this month. And I don't think that they'll be announcing anything regarding Galactic Legends until maybe March, April.
I'm saying late January, early February, we will get the next set of Galactic Legends announced.
And I stand by that. I do still think that is too early. We've had so much the last 3 months. We've had so much the last 3 months. I just think that announcing some new Galactic Legends this early in the year would just be a little bit too much. I mean, people are still working on. People are going to be working on their BAMs for the next few months because they've only just dropped Kuill and IG-11 on nodes. So,
but that's the smoke and mirrors.
No, because they want people to spend, right? They want people to spend. And if they all of a sudden drop announcements on Galactic Legends, people will potentially stop spending on preparing their characters for BAM, spending crystals, because, minnows and dolphins, tend to just spend their crystals on extra refreshes so that they like double farming stuff. That's where the lower end buyers go. And if all of a sudden they were to say, we're dropping, these are the Galactic Legends that we're going to be bringing forward, people might think, well, I'm not far off that. I'll stop spending on BAM and preparing for BAM, and I'll start spending on preparing for the next Galactic Legend, which is why I think that they will leave the announcement of any new Galactic Legends until they've squeezed every last penny they're going to get out of the low-end spenders on Kuill and on IG-11, and then eventually on BAM when people have, met those minimum gear requirements in order to do the legendary event. Because, that was one of the great things that they did about the BAM event, was they did not make it gear heavy. I've been hearing that some people have been able to do the BAM event with gears 9 and 10. That's how low geared you need to do it. And some people have even been telling me that you can do the BAM event with gear 11, Mando, Grief, and Kara, but with Kuill and IG-11 as low as 8. So it's not like a massive gear requirement is needed for that. But, as I said, the low-end spenders tend to buy crystals, spend a small amount of money on crystals and use those extra crystals for extra refreshes. So instead of just one farm, they can do a double farm.
All right. Well, Neil.
What?
Right. So switch the scene. Get ready to re-enable that logo because I'm going to hit the button right now. Okay.
Well, hang on a minute. Hang on. Just wait. Because the logo can be the surprise. So let me just add. Wait for it. Let me just add it, because then people will be like, what is that image of? What? Okay, so I'm adding the image.
All right.
Now.
Can I hit the button? Okay,
I hit the button now.
I hit the button. ladies and gentlemen, straight out of Washington. You might have to. You might also have to change that. Make it so their picture also shows up on the screen there, Neil. Straight out of Washington and from Bungie. Ladies and gentlemen, this person was on our 16th episode. They are now on our 100th episode. They are one of the most amazing friends of the show. I am absolutely honored to call this person a friend. And some people did call it. Some people were totally wrong. I threw off Llama earlier. I gotta apologize first to Llama because I said that CG was going to be on the show. By CG, ladies and gentlemen, I meant Carrie Gouskos. How are you, Carrie?
Hi, I'm good.
Hey, Carrie.
Hello, Nev. How you doing?
Hello, Governor.
How are you doing? Congratulations. What a great, amazing, I can't believe you made it.
That makes two of us.
Yeah.
I can't believe we made it.
Technically, it's only my 90th episode because I only started doing the show episode 10. Because if you remember, I started off doing story time with the Nev because I did that special story time with the Nev when you came on the show for episode 14 or 16.
Right?
16.
I did that special one because if you remember, prior to that episode and prior to coming on the show, I did you the pom pom carry. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember
the little pom pom.
Yeah, I still have. Well, I told you I left Leia at the office.
Yeah, you left Leia at the office
for the studio and the game, not like for me personally. But I took the flower. I have it like, over there. But anyway, I took the little flower that came with it because I was like, well, it was for the studio, but like I'm going to take a piece of it with me. So.
Well, there's a wasted spy camera.
That's a moment when it showed up. I was definitely like, I mean, I don't assume bad things about people, but you do have to be like, is it possible? Because it was in my office. We were talking about everything, the features and all of that. So, no, there are no cameras that I touched.
But, I still have my actual, my Thrawn pom-pom up here, but I knock a whole bunch of stuff down trying to get to it.
Yeah, they're amazing. How did you get into that?
I was bored one day and I had a bunch of yarn and I just started making pom-poms.
Yeah.
And that's
cool.
I do. I mean, I do. You can't. Oh, I can't really see it. I've got my
What do you? Oh, your
symbol. It's so difficult to see, but I've got my A. The A hangs on my wall. It's a red pom pom. It's this red anarchist A made out of pom poms. That hangs on my wall.
Yeah, my version of that, I saw this on Kotaku once, and I made one. Someone did a Princess Peach bottle cap, and so those are all bottle caps. And so
that's awesome.
And I painted, and so for like, because Karibo's shoe is the greatest pickup in the history of all video games. It's the greatest thing. Of course, I touched my camera, and so now it's good. So I saw it on Kotaku. Someone had like a giant Princess Peach thing, and I was bored, and so I collected bottle caps from like the studio for like a year, and then had like however many that is. A lot.
Are those metal bottle caps?
No, plastic.
Plastic. Okay.
They're 20-ounce bottle caps, and so. And then it's pretty straightforward from that, because if you're doing pixel art, like you can take any 8-bit or any pixelated game, or you can take any piece of art and make it a pixel art. And so I just did that, picked the parameters I want, and then had to color code it. But so that's my version of that. But the pom-pom stuff's super cool, and it was an honor to get it. Now I'm sorry that I left it there, because you were like, that was for you, and I was like, oh, I didn't know it. When you get like freebies, you try not to take them for yourself. I always try to give them to the team, because there's so many people that work on the game, and I'm often the face of it, which means that good and bad things, right? But when it comes to freebies, I never want to like take it for myself. I want it to be for people on the team that don't have as much other perks that I have, right? But anyway.
Well, speaking of retro games, I also noticed that there's a Virtual Boy back there.
Yeah. There it is.
you are a collector.
Yeah.
And even more below that, you are a collector of consoles.
Yes.
So how big has this collection grown since we talked to you on? I think it was the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, I think it was early 60s around then, and now the PS5 and the Series X, and I have Stadia, and I have I've gotten a bunch of things. And you sent me. Oh my God, how do we even? Oh my God,
I wasn't trying to prompt for that, but you want to tell people.
Well, hold on. I feel like I don't want to go. I mean, yes, you managed to secure. Now I should get it. Hold on, let me. So can you guys like?
We can fill time. We did it while waiting for you. We could fill some time here, but yeah, I'll let her tell the story here when she returns. But all those consoles for our Twitch audience, you're looking at all the great consoles. She's even got the original Halo edition.
Yeah, there's
green Halo edition of the Xbox.
I was about to say that's the green Halo Xbox there. I'm seeing what else can I see there. Oh, there's a couple of There's a couple of old PlayStations there. Oh, there's the PS1 Mini at the bottom.
And don't forget the Dreamcast as well.
That's I was about to say it looks like it's sat on a Dreamcast.
Yeah. Helenix is saying you see the Atari 2600.
Yeah, I can see the Atari 2600. Yeah. Oh, look at that! You can see the GameCube as well underneath the Master System. See the black GameCube.
Yeah.
On the shelf underneath the Master System.
Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to explain what's here.
An Atari 1200. Oh my God.
Uh-oh, you're muted, Carrie. You're muted.
And yeah, it's been still in the box and in great shape, and actually haven't played it yet because there's been things happening. But yeah, so I guess you contacted me because there was like a work. Somebody found it in a back room, right? You were sort of like, "Hey, there's this."
So I worked for a
charity. Tell me your version. Tell you your part of it.
Yeah, I worked for a charity that had a resale store, and people bring in stuff all the time. And I saw this. I saw the Atari 1200 there, and I immediately messaged you. I said, "Hey, I know you collect consoles. You know, do you have this one?" And you were pretty much like, "No. How much do they want it for? That's a really expensive one." I worked out an amazing deal for you.
You did. Yeah, I mean, like, and I'm happy to pay, like, especially because it's a charity related thing. It was sort of like, I'll pay what you get, but you hooked me up. And so, yeah, I have a bunch of 2600s and a 5200, but I don't have the 1200. And this just goes back into the thing of, especially this is in such good shape that, so I like to get things that are in good shape, but I am a person who takes them out and plays them. Like, I'm not I want to have, I mean, at the moment, what I will say is most of them are not hooked up because I just, when we started quarantine, turned this is a spare room into my office. And so just getting them out, and I've gone through, I almost wish I could like take my camera off my PC and like go through and show. I will do a little bit because I can't get into the back there. There's 2 TVs of stuff there, and then there's a closet over there, which I don't know if you can see from the vaguely open door, but it's the shelves in there are just filled with games and things. But I was trying to, I do a kind of semi-annual, take everything out, clean it up, make sure it's still working. You know, a lot of the older systems, I mean, I've traveled, I've moved a lot. And so even though they get packaged up or whatever, they just, over time, I picked the one stupid hobby where you're losing money because these things don't appreciate in value. They only depreciate in value. Like, it's not like you pay $700 for a console now, and in 20 years it will be worth $7,000. You pay $700 for a console now, and in 20 years it will be worth 50 cents. But or
25 cents GameStop trade-in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. 30 cents if you apply it towards buying a used game.
Yeah, exactly.
And but I like to have them. I like to play them. And just the nature of how fragile some of the old consoles are, especially ones where the controller is part of the console. So like a controller breaks and now you can't play 2-player anymore, but it doesn't matter. I like having them. And even actually somebody that I work with the other day was sad because he lost his like Neo Geo Pocket Color. And I was like, well, I have one. And even though it's the only one I have, I'm like, I should just give it to him because I'm kind of into like, get one, give one, take one, like I like to make homes for them. And then I don't play the Neo Geo very much. And so if this is a person who would find like deep love and passion for having it, then I'm happy to like pass the love on. I will say though, in the course of collecting things, because people know that I collect things and I do kind of just go, yeah, I want all of it. I do end up with a lot of weirdly prioritized things. Like people always like to point out the 4 Dreamcasts over here. Now I don't.
We were talking about the Dreamcast.
I'm so jealous. One of my fondest memories, literally one of my fondest memories, was playing Shining the Holy Ark on the Dreamcast. That game just, I broke my TV because I broke I was in the army. I was in Cyprus. I didn't watch TV. All I did was listen to music and play Shining the Holy Ark on the Dreamcast. Yeah. I mean, for Street Fighter Alpha 2, forget about it. Yeah. All the other games I had, as soon as I started playing Shining the Holy Ark on the Dreamcast, that was it. That was all I wanted to play. And I ended up breaking my TV because the very last level, the Dream World, I had no idea, and there was no such thing as the internet. There was no walkthroughs, so I didn't know how to do it. And I ended up pushing because it was a great big tube TV. I pushed it, it rocked on its stand, and then fell crashing down. And so I broke my TV. It crushed my Sega Saturn, and because of that, it wasn't until the GameCube 3 years later that I bought another console because I just lost it.
Yeah. Well, real quick, Helenix and JJ Manners want to know: do you have the Atari 7800?
I don't.
And where's your ColecoVision?
My ColecoVision, here, I'll go get it and bring it up to the screen.
So there you go, JJ. She does have the ColecoVision, but no 7800 for Helenix. There's the oh my gosh.
And it's actually, this one's still in great shape. We had, it's actually coming up, but one of the things about Bungie that's really cool is every year we have something called Pentathlon. I've seen people talking about this, so I don't think this is anything secret. It's not game related, but so every year the studio is divided into 8 teams, and it's based on tenure. So last year I was on newbies. This year I'm on middle school. I'm actually the captain of the middle school team, and it's 1/8 of the studio is on your team, and you're given a number of games, 8 games to compete in, and so each group puts their players, they pick random games, and it's a whole gamut. Like there's a golf game this year, there's Human Fall Flat, there's a Halo one. They do a giant, a bunch of really brilliant people make escape room, but with puzzles and clues and the hardest puzzles you've ever seen. And it's called Puzzle Hunt. And so there's this whole thing, and there's all these things. And so every team competes in each sport. And then there's winners. And last year we won, newbies won. And I hope middle school wins this year. But so while everyone's doing all these events, because some of these things have limited players, Puzzle Hunt is a ton of people, and you're doing all of these crazy solving clues. And last year you were running around the building and doing it. This year it's going to be remote, obviously. But people are playing all these games. But then people are doing a bunch of other things. Like there's a designer that I adore. She's like a huge pinball collector. So she would bring in like 8 of her pinball machines, and they would do some people would just stay in the corner all day and play their pinball machines. Or, it was a huge, like, kind of, don't think about work for the day. Everyone plays this like sport, except for the sports are video games, because that's what we're good at. And so people would do side areas or whatever. And I brought my ColecoVision in and my N64, and a ton of games, and I just put them up, and it was like showing people that have never seen a ColecoVision before, like how to play it, like anyway. So I think I brought Smurfs. I think Smurfs was a hit. Even though I think Smurfs had that bug where you could get Smurfette naked. I mean, it was like she went off the screen in a weird way, and then her dress was gone, but it was just blue. It wasn't anything salacious. But I remember being a kid and being like, "Woo!" Anyway, so that I, when possible, love to try to. I used to teach actually history of video games at George Mason University in Northern Virginia, and I used to I brought in my ColecoVision, my television, I would bring the consoles in, and I would basically be like, here you go, 20-year-old, let me show you back to your point, like that we had, I think about it now, because I think there was a lot of patience that we had to have when you didn't know how to beat something. So your options were bang your head against the wall. I mean, just try. If you were lucky and it was like a Nintendo game, you could call the hotline, but that cost money. So you had to ask your parents for permission to call the hotline.
Nintendo Power Hotline. Heck yeah.
Give you tips. Or you had to wait a month for the Nintendo Power to come out, because it was always a month later. So Nintendo Power would come out with like tips on how to beat the thing. And it wasn't necessarily a strategy guide. It was just some tips. And so if you were lucky, you would have it in there. But mostly it was like kids getting together and being like, hey, do you know how to beat that area or whatever? And I just think about how much patience you had to develop to not get an answer right away. And I'm not gonna, I promise I'm not gonna wax out like kids these days. But
on that note, does that, and this is where we're kind of gonna get into, one of the things I wanted to really ask you about. And then I have a question from Geek Girl when we're finished with this. Do you ever use some of that experience in your job now in developing games to where you want it to be where people will crowdsource instead of create walkthroughs? Is that something that's even able to be accomplished in the world of the internet?
No, mostly. Like, not in the way it used to be, where you have to assume everything will be put on the internet immediately. And when we see things like and Destiny does this, and CG, we did this as well, where it was like, we're going to do a puzzle, and it's going to be this crazy hard thing, and people are going to work together. Like, and if you think about it, as hard as we make those things, they get solved so fast. I mean, these things take weeks to develop, and then people solve it in like hours or less than a day or whatever. And so the answer is no. The collective power of the internet will always brute force solutions. But I think there is a degree to which almost everything about video games that was true in the console day in the early days is true now, because human motivation and human behavior is still the same. And so you can take a lot of lessons in modern game development from looking at these early games and what was fun about it. What was it about that people wanted to keep figuring it out? Because you can't assume there's going to be somebody, and a lot of people, who just look up the answer and that's it. But there are also a lot of people, especially in games with a lot of narrative or whatever, where they want to discover it, they want to unlock it themselves. And it's like, how do you let them have that moment or that balance of joy where they don't feel the need to, because there's a threshold, right, of frustration. So we can't go all the way back to back then, because it was so frustrating. Anybody at any moment would just look it up and watch a playthrough or whatever, and you're done. But you can think about, how do I tease it along enough that you make just enough progress that you feel that satisfaction of not cheating? Like, that's why I like doing, I don't cheat on things like, escape room puzzles or anything where you could like cheat to get an answer, or you have to kind of push your head and figure it out. Like, I love to puzzle things through, but there is absolutely a threshold of it's no longer fun for me. I'm just frustrated. And so I'm going to either give up, or I'm going to go look it up on the internet. I think your point is like, yes, some, but not a lot.
Is there a game out there now that you think meets, and I want to see if maybe I have one in mind, but is there a game out there right now that you think meets that threshold to where you're not just going to go, screw it, I'm going to go look up the answer?
Yeah, I think I would say that a good chunk of, I don't know why this is the first thing that came to mind, but this generation, not this generation, the PS4, God, which one are we on? And Xbox One. Oh my God, all of the numbers like broken in my brain. The last generation.
The last gen, yeah. Four and one.
Yes, that Tomb Raider game was a great example of it because there were pickups and like you know what's another one that does this really well too? Sorry, I keep like getting my chair. The early Arkham games did this really cool thing where they were Zelda-esque, where you would play through an area and by the time you got to the end of the area, you would get and actually Zelda's a great example of this.
Yes.
You're playing through dungeons and you see a thing with a grappling hook thing and you're like, I don't know you know what that is, but maybe you don't. You're like, I can't get in there. I don't know why. And that room is locked. And then you go through a dungeon later and you get the grappling hook and you're like, okay, great. Now I can go back to all those other places. And the games that I think do this well and why I mentioned Tomb Raider and Arkham and Zelda is and Arkham especially did this thing with the Joker, was it the Joker or the Riddler, like the little
Riddler trophies.
Yeah, the Riddler trophies, right? Where it starts totally opaque to you, and then you play through the area, and then you know where they are because they show up on the map. And then, like after you figure out some other things, you get a little. I don't remember exactly, but like a little bit more information about how to get them. And it's just enough that you're like, I don't need to go Google where all of them are because they've pieced it out to me. So I think in my rambling, I think the Arkham games are the best example of that. I didn't finish the last one.
For me, it was I was thinking Portal.
Oh yeah, Portal's a good one. But all right, hold on. But give me Portal 2 or Portal 1.
Portal 2.
Opposite. Yeah, I can see that. I can absolutely see that. And because the mechanics are so simple in major quotes, it's not, you're like, I've got to be able to figure this out, right? Like, they're not that many options, right? It's not like I need to go get another thing in a different dungeon and come bring it back. So I think there's a simplicity to that, which is I will figure this out because the game is not that complicated. There's not too many different pieces. Like the more different things you introduce, the crappier it gets to try to figure it out. But yeah, I could totally do that.
So, are you using? Are you able to talk about what you're working on yet?
No.
No. Okay. So I won't press in that.
No, I mean, I just rolled off of Destiny, but yeah, not yet.
Okay.
So I have, like I say, I've been working on Destiny for almost the entire time that I've been on, but no, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So I'm not going to press on that. I guess what has been, since your departure from EA, you then ended up at Bungie.
Yeah.
What has been one of your most fun accomplishments that you can publicly point out and go, that was me?
It's hard to point at stuff because of two reasons. One, the team size is on a scale that I can't even begin, I can describe it, but it's like the team size is so much larger and the game is so much more complicated that there are very few, and I would even be reluctant, honestly, on Galaxy of Heroes to be like, I did that, right? Because games are collaborative things that you work on a team with. And let's be honest, I'm a producer, so engineers and designers have more concrete, I made this thing, where I am like, I prioritized this thing and made sure we got it done. Or I said, we should make this thing in terms of features that I said we should do this. So I wouldn't, there's almost, and so that was one, which is like, the game team is so much larger and the game is so much more complicated that it would be very hard for me to point at something, but even in this release that came out, Beyond Light, and say, I did that. But the second piece of it is my role on the team. I purposefully, and that is not true of my current job because I'm the executive producer now, but in my last job, I took a role called director of product development, which was my focus was entirely on how the game is made and not what the game is. And I had thoughts and feelings or whatever, but I had very little to do with deciding what was in the game. So when I think about, when you mention that, the things that my brain goes to are the work from home project, which was getting an entire studio home in 2-ish weeks.
Yeah, you showed me that video.
Right, there's a video. Right, we did a video. It's like from the Bungie YouTube account, which we actually pretty early on because we did it so quickly, and I give so much credit to our COO who was like reading reports of what was happening in China, and he was like, "This is a problem. This is gonna be a problem." And I remember thinking like, really? Like, I remember reading about the first cruise ship and my mom was freaking out about it. And I was like, I mean, this sounds awful and it's awful, but like, I just had I would never have been able to predict where we are now. I don't think many people would, but our COO is responsible for like planning for worst case scenario. So we just started. And then what I really value is that Bungie took it seriously and was like, we're not going to mess around with this. And I sent an email to our CEO about our COO basically saying, I am convinced that he saved lives because we have people who got sick in January, February that really, really early on, Bungie sent out an email saying, we are giving you additional sick days on top of your normal amount. Because, I think this is a reality of work. You don't want to blow all your sick days too early for emergencies or whatever, you want to save it for something. And it's perfectly reasonable that people do this at the time where they go, I have a little cough, but I'm probably not contagious. It's probably fine. And game companies is kind of the worst because there's definitely been this push for open floor plans in the last like 15 years or whatever. And so,
right.
When someone gets the plague, especially like PAX plague, like that's that particular sickness, whatever people get at PAX. I love Penny Arcade, but like that sickness people get, it comes into game team offices and just the whole studio is wiped out. So, to get in front of that, the very first reports of it, they basically gave everyone more sick time and said, if you have any sickness at all, just stay home. Like, don't worry about it. And so I am convinced that there were people, and we have, stories of people that either had family members who just returned from Asia or whatever, like where I'm sure that we didn't spread it to the office. And there were a lot of people and it's a pretty condensed, packed in office. Like it would have spread through pretty quickly. So I'm really proud of that project, for example. But again, like I didn't do that. I mean, by no way did I do that alone. Like our IT team was bananas good. Like they put so much time and effort and energy getting people kind of ramped up. Like I was just kind of the policy person and I was just figuring out who knew what equipment and how would that work. And like every single edge case you could think of, someone's internet wasn't good or, whatever the case, I was trying to solve all of those one-off problems. And so that was, I'm really proud of that. But there's even things around how we work and how we do make things that I feel really proud of, but nothing that anybody would see. So I can't put it in the thing and be like, I did that.
I can.
Okay. What?
I can.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks to you, I am never without Zetas. Because you guaranteed Zeta drops from fleet challenges. That's all you, girl. That's all you.
Yes, I did do
my
I
accounts
people into that.
are never without Zetas.
0 to 1 is BS. That is a BS drop rate. So like we can't have 0 to 1 because if it's mostly 0, then all you're doing is disappointing people. So I do feel that there are things, but I will also say that every month that passes, I kind of forget what they are because I was talking to Cubs about stuff and I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot how proud I am of Grand Arena because I feel like that I really felt very passionately that we put something in the game that had that kind of systemic longevity and totally forgot to say anything about it. But also, again, like so many people are involved and like that it seems weird for me to take credit for anything. So it's hard. You can feel internal pride.
Touching on that, we'll talk just a little bit of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes here. Yeah. Was Grand Arena Championships part of your plan, or did that come from the successor?
Or that was all way under, because that I was still there when it launched, right? Like, all of that stuff was part of the original plan. Everything since then, I had a little bit to do with the early pitches of Relics, but we went through a couple pitches. I was definitely on board with the idea. I had some thoughts about how it'd be implemented, and then I left, and then they went their own path, some of which is the same and some of which is different. Like I haven't actually, because at one point, I've talked to people about maybe playing the game or whatever, and I'm like, I can't play anymore. Like it's too personal to me. Like it's too. I stopped. So I haven't played since then. So it's like I don't remember lots of things. So I want to be careful not to be like, I did that. Grand Arena Championship was the last thing that I had a meaningful impact on.
Okay. So Neil, can I ask this question?
Sure.
Was there, because the past, was there any thought to increasing the number of divisions in Grand Arena Championship, or when you departed, was 4.5 the magic number of when people are supposed to be on par with each other no matter the size?
I don't. I would say this: that engineering team and design team are very smart, and I know wherever possible, because I can't remember the specifics, but wherever possible, you always seek to make everything be able to scale in the back end, right? So that if the decision is made to increase it, that is possible. And I am pretty sure that when it came to all of those numbers, you take your best guess, and then you make the tech scalable. And then over time, especially live service games, like this is the modus operandi of live services. You figure out how to later make a change by not hard coding everything and making it locked. So I don't remember, but I would say I'm certain that they are thinking about and evaluating it. And I think we always think that our numbers could be wrong, and we just kind of give ourselves an out to go up or down if we need to. But I don't remember. You're deep in thought.
I'm wondering if Neil's got some questions, because I've been kind of hogging the questions here.
I get, because obviously when you were doing it, there was an upper threshold, and obviously that upper threshold has now been passed. So obviously when you were creating it, you were like, okay, so what's the highest account? And you might have looked at your records and gone, well, the highest GP account that we've got is 6 million GP. So let's make the highest division between, 4.5 and that 6 million, because all of the other ones are like 500,000. So
I get that. Yeah, it makes perfect
there's
sense.
9
and obviously
million.
Now we have 9 million GP accounts. So we've got accounts in the same division that are 4.5 million GP to 9 million GP. And it's one of the, it's as far as I'm concerned, it is legitimate constructive criticism.
Yeah,
how will the developers get around to either creating newer divisions, or
changing where they're cut up,
or taking one and rebalancing the GP for the division. So instead of 4.5 to get into one, you need 6.5. Instead of getting 3.8 to get into two, you need 5. And I kind of wondered, did you ever have the thought at some point down the line the game is going to reach this, so we need to keep this in the back of our minds when creating Grand Arena Championship? Because when it was just Grand Arena and there was no league, that wasn't an issue.
Yeah, no. So, I don't want to sign any of my friends up for things that they, but I will say is
this is all speculation. Let's go ahead and say that
you always design for growth, especially live services, And I definitely never established the original parameters. I had thoughts, but we have Capital has like a ton of really, really good designers that do the math of this stuff, and they figure out all of the pieces and things. And so they came up with some of those, and I think we looked at it and went, this is good. I would say yes. In a live game where things are changing, those things usually should be intended to be looked at, adjusted, evaluated as the kind of core narrative changes. I could see why there might be some issues with it because we still have people coming in at 0, right? So they probably have to just think about it and really look at the data. They have a ton of really good data. They have an incredibly good analytics team that looks at it. And so I'm sure that they are thinking about what that problem is. I just don't know what the reason might be that they wouldn't change it, but I'm sure it's a good one.
So, I mean, how often, I guess that's questions that, it's not really your forte anymore. It's just, but in the gaming industry, how often should they relook at it? Because we have numbers. I'd love to see the numbers that they have. I would love to see the numbers that CG has, because it would help so much with some of our speculation.
Yeah.
But we have a woman by the name of Taliana who goes out every single Grand Arena and finds the lowest person in the division. So they know how many people have signed up for GAC, and we get those numbers, and it used to be an inverted V, and now it's simply just a ramp up to the sky.
Yeah. No.
It looks like the COVID numbers.
Yeah, I believe you. Honestly, because I'm so out of it, like you explaining it to me is the first I've heard of it, because I'm definitely not like, what's going on with Galaxy of Heroes. That feels like something that you should, I'm sure you have brought up in various avenues of, forums and things, and said, hey, we love conversation on that. And I certainly hope,
we no longer have the communication since you left.
No, but I thought, because I felt like, I mean, I have to be careful.
And I'm talking us.
Yeah, sure. I'm saying is, I am aware, because I know some of the people that are doing this, that there's definitely been more community involvement stuff, or at least I know people that are working on that. And so I feel like that's something that you should bring. I just feel like you should bring it up, because I would want to know. When I was running the team, I would want to know, and sometimes it was really hard to sift through, like, because there were so many different pieces of feedback, and you're trying to figure it out. But it feels like the kind of thing that is a great question for like a Q&A, or I don't know if they're still running Q&As or whatever, but like, okay, well, put it in the forums. That's what I would say.
Well, we do have a new guy named Doja Fett that is communicating with the forums well, and it's very
awesome.
nice.
I know him. He was not in that role when I was there. He was a designer, but like, he's awesome. So yeah.
And we'd love to talk to him more. We really would. We're saying that. We've said it before. We're saying it again.
Yeah.
All right. One more Star Wars question. One more game collection question.
Okay.
That I've got. Neil, do you have any other questions?
I have one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you seen the Atari AVS?
Oh, yes, I have.
How awesome does that thing look?
Amazing. Yeah,
it looks badass, doesn't it?
Totally.
I so want one.
I know. And I feel like
it's got an NVE slot in it.
I know.
Oh!
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. That's the thing, is that's the next step for me, is to like, because I like to play the consoles, so there's a part of me that wants to get the original consoles and all of the peripherals and all of that. And there's a part of me that wants to play the games. And sometimes it's a balance between like getting an emulator, like, because I have a lot of friends that just get like, in fact, they'll do it like in an arcade cabinet, where they set up a PC in an arcade cabinet and then just have literally every emulator that has ever lived on an arcade machine. So you're basically playing it like it was an arcade machine. And so that appeals to the person who wants to play the games. But then there's also the like obsessive collectory person where I'm like, but I also want the machine and the controller and all of that. And so there's always a balance. And so
I want to be able to play. I want to be able to play a game without having to do this every 5 minutes.
Right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely right.
All right. So while on the collection question, Geek Girl asks, "What's the console? What's your piece of the piece that you love the most, the one that you're most proudest of, and what's the one that you don't have that you want?"
I would like a Vectrix that I don't have. It's a kooky console. Like the Intellivision controller, you would, for every game, you would slide a little piece of plastic over the controller, and it was like, if it was a baseball game, it would be like a baseball.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah. And the Vectrix is kind of the same thing, because even earlier, but it was a monitor. And so you would slide in like almost like the background of the game and play it. It's like a built-in monitor game console. It's pretty kooky. I would like it. My Virtual Boy doesn't really work anymore. I would need to like try. But I like the ones that are kind of kitschy, even though if you play that for more than 5 minutes, you'll totally get a headache. So any of those that have like, I don't know, a form factor, a fun factor, but like a Vectrix in particular would be super interesting to me. And you said what am I proudest of? Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a testament to something, because obviously I have this, I have two of the green Xboxes. One is the dev kit and one is the original Halo Xbox. And I didn't intend that. Like when I came to Bungie. So I think kind of what I'm proud of is that when someone is interested in something, or like I said with my friend with the Neo Geo, like, and they're like, hey, do you have a thing? Because I want to like reignite a like memory or whatever. Because especially with these old consoles, especially someone so young, there's like a palpable memory that happens where you're like, oh, my childhood. And I'm proud of being able to provide those experiences for people where they're like, I haven't seen it. But because even on my camera or whatever, when I'm like talking to people, or I'll pull out a console or something and you're like, oh, I remember. And then they tell their stories of it. Like,
oh yeah,
that's games. And that's the power of games, is the storytelling and the people that you met along the way and all of that. And so for me, this is not the cheesiest answer, but like my pride is being able to put an original Nintendo Entertainment System in front of someone and letting them blow on the cartridge and having all those memories and feeling those feelings. And I just, that's what pays for it all for me, is those memories.
All right. And the final question.
Yes.
You promised me Hondo. Where is Hondo?
I never, I would say, I'll have to be careful. Everything I ever said, I think, because people would always say, oh, you're not even committing to anything. It was always true for my intention. But the day that I left, even things that I thought would be in the game or aren't in the game or whatever, like are. And so that's the like nature of the like, hey man, it's live services, stuff changes all the time. Like the reality, and like that's why I love making live service games, because the puzzle's constantly changing. And so it is like piecing apart a very difficult problem, but the problem keeps changing and evolving because people change and the games change and stuff, behaviors change and all that. And so it's a long way of saying, ain't my problem anymore, man. Ain't my problem anymore.
Okay. I'm going to throw this out there because this is actually a question, or this is a theory that a lot of people talk about. And I am going to say this. I will accept a no comment.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true?
Oh my God, I'm terrible with the facial
expressions. Is it true in in the development of the game that we cover,
Mhm.
that there are pretty much 9 months out of the year that you're having to do what you're told, and 3, and this is just 75% of the time you're doing what you're told, and 25% of the time that you get to play around with what you want. Is that true in the culture of this game?
For developers?
For the developers and what's released to us?
Oh, no. It's like playing around in terms of like designing thing that doesn't end up coming to reality, or
that's what I'm saying. From what the rumor that goes around that gets spread from creator to creator is that they're dictated what to do 9 months out of the year, and then they get to throw a bone. They throw a bone to the developers.
You mean sorry, I think that for developers working on the game. You mean for content, like video creators?
For the I'm talking about the game, for characters that come out. Of course, Gideon comes out when Mando's hot and things like that.
Yeah, no. Oh, you mean from Lucas, or do you mean from?
Yeah, does Lucas dictate what comes to the game more?
No, but they're a part of every part of the conversation. Like Lucas, so dictate's a weird word. Why I'm balking a little bit is the answer was both yes and no about everything, which is just like how much, when I originally thought your question was about how much freedom do individual developers have. Like the answer is no one has any freedom. And yet we spend all of our time trying to give people enough autonomy in their choices. And so what will often happen is that we'll be like, well, we want to thematically do this era or this place or this movie or whatever. And then it's a conversation. It starts with Lucas, where we go, hey, we're thinking about doing, like, I'll go back to something that happened on my time there when we're talking about Solo. And, we hadn't seen Solo when we first started designing what we would do. And so for movies that hadn't come out yet, Lucas is definitely a little more, hey, you should probably do this. But they do a full, and this is one of the things that I missed the least, because I don't have anything spoiled anymore, which is awesome. I refuse to be disclosed on Mandalorian, and I'm so glad, because it would have ruined it for me. Like so many other things that ruined because I got disclosed on it. But that's just I'm a fan. Like I just, it's more fun to experience it, the art, than it is to have someone read to you the entire plot.
Right.
So the most directive is when it's a new movie and we don't know much about the characters, but they still walk us through the entire, like, so Solo, as an example, we sat in a room when someone from Story Group sat there with like a slideshow of things they could show. So sometimes it was concept art and sometimes it was stills from the filming. And this would be probably as early, well, sometimes a couple of years before movies, but I would say for sure with the Eniology, we wouldn't see things that early because that stuff is lock and key. But somewhere in the time frame running up to the movie, they would say, this is the plot, and they would go, all right, now we're going to this planet, now we're going to this, now here's this character. And so they would often give us a recommendation, but they would also read to us aloud the descriptions of the characters and stuff. And so we would go, we want to do those characters. And sometimes they'd say, okay, but they don't have a synergy like this or whatever. But no, it was 100% of dialogue. The only time is when it's like not canon, or, something where, or like, some of the specific tags they have a lot of input in, but that's because they're telling us what is fact, right? They're saying that is a lightsaber character, or dark, like something that is fact in the Star Wars universe. No, it is not even close to that. But I would say
that's how we got Pow and Biston, then, right?
Yes, correct. That's a good. Yes, they were, because no one knew, so they were saying, how about beat, like, and so we're like, okay. And to be fair, like, that's the risk you run doing something forward looking, even for Lucas, right? To say, we think we think these characters, it's the best guess we have at the time. But I'll say on the flip side, they still have to approve absolutely everything. So if they are not buying, like when we did all of the Old Republic stuff, we pitched to them a narrative of what we were releasing and when, and we had great dialogue with them. I mean, I still I don't talk to them, but like still, connected to via like social media, some of the people that I know from over at Lucas that we had to work with every day. And it's like every other negotiation, like it's a little give, a little take. But no, and to be honest, they're really, I'm not saying this, I'm not working with you anymore. So what advantage do I have for this? They're great partners. Like they're very serious about the IP, but like they work with you and they will find a way to work through stuff.
Awesome. Any other questions, Neil?
No, we're good.
All right. So just like we did when you first came on, we ran 30 minutes over.
Oh, did we?
So I apologize about that.
I was literally in a one-on-one that went long, and I was just going, okay, I'm done for the day. And I was like, I'm gonna go get some food. And then I was like, I wonder what's blinking on Discord. And then I was like, oh no. So I'm glad that I didn't completely forget.
I'm glad you didn't either. Carrie,
I just want to ask before we go, how are you both doing? It's a hard time. Like, are you both okay?
Oh yeah, I'm cool.
I was going to say good, but like maybe, but you're happy, you're healthy, you're living.
Yeah, Christy's in remission, as I told you before, and
She's amazing.
I found a new job just in December that I'm working from home, and they allow me to do the show.
That's awesome. That's so good. Good. I'm glad. I mean, I know it's hard these days, and someone's like, "How you doing?" You would be like, "Good, I'm great," because you have to like give the caveat of like, "Them's are hard times," but it's good to have things personally okay, because then you can confront the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's I just wish I had your luck at finding the Xbox One X Series X.
I mean, and I don't think my luck would persist now because it was day one, and so. But now it just seems like
I know. Well,
I'm sorry.
We'll find it. We'll find it sometime soon.
One day. Someday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's another story to check out, because you did post about that on your Twitter.
I did.
That is my segue into telling people, how do people find you on Twitter?
Well, it's my first initial, my last name, because I'm super smart like that. So it's Gouskos at Twitter, on Twitter, and I don't talk about a bunch of nonsense. I think the last thing I tweeted was like, I just had this realization that Jason Derulo is this amazing marketing person, because he's always sings his name in his songs. He's like, Jason Derulo. And I was like, I don't know this guy, and I've only heard some of his songs now and then, but I know his name, and I'm like, I know who he is because he's such a genius, like marketer in his brain. He's like, it's kind of like American McGee. American McGee made a handful of games, but I'm never going to forget his name because all of his games were called American McGee's Alice or Sid Meier's Civilization. There's something really interesting about that. Anyway, so that's the kind of wisdom. I'm also with some friends, including, I'll say, like in sort of the theme of becoming friends with someone who's from the Galaxy of Heroes community. I had posted something random on Twitter about wanting to better myself in a bunch of different ways. And I don't remember how we kind of got the segue, but he was like, hey, some friends and I are thinking about going through Rolling Stone magazine's top 500 albums of all time and listening to them from 500 all the way down to 1. And the only rule is no skipping anything, no song skipping, no album skipping. So you have to listen to the entirety of the album and you don't get to choose. And this is a Galaxy of Heroes player that I didn't know at all. And now he and I consider him a friend, and we should chat, and like we're doing this together. And I mean,
sounds like something JJ Manners would do.
Who?
JJ Manners.
One of the Aussie community. He does deals in records and vinyl. Loves his music.
Oh yeah. So I don't remember the name. So it's been an experience, and so I've been going through, and I've actually been tweeting. Like I said, I'm actually 10 or 15 tweets behind where I really am. But I've been tweeting my mini review for each of the albums, and we've been scoring them. And he did this in great spreadsheet. So there's probably 15 or so of us doing this. And everyone's giving a score between 1 and 5. And then we're kind of looking at the averages and stuff. But I'll tell you, the revelation for me was Miranda Lambert, who I went into this just scanning and looking at the number of country albums going, I hate country. I don't like, I can't stand it. And trust me, there's some rough country on here that I don't like. I also don't like jazz at all. It makes me panic because I like structure. And so I'm like, this is too unstructured for me. But the Miranda Lambert album, The Weight of These Wings, was a revelation for me because I love it. And I was like, I never would have listened to it. And so for me, that's been kind of the joy of this is, and here's the thing, we started, kind of in the middle of all of the quarantine stuff. There's something about having a task that is that big in scale, because we did the math and we're like, this is probably a year to a year and a half long project. Because if you're just kind of listening to some music when you can, I've got meetings in the day, I can't always listen to music all day long. And so this project has structure, it has a really long timeline. And when the world doesn't make sense, sometimes it's fun to just sit down and like listen to an album you've never heard of and be like, oh, this is pretty cool, or oh, this is terrible. And we will like text with her and be like, I can't make it through this album, it's so bad. Anyway, so it's been fun. So it's something interesting about having like to your point earlier, Paul, about like game motivation and stuff and design. How do you think about design? Like everything I think about for games is informed by everything in my life. And so I think about like, this is a long scale project with very clear goals and very easy to do, but each thing has a purpose. And if it's a bad album, I can just make it long enough to get to another album, which could be good. And so I'm always sort of dissecting like my life as it pertains to video games because I'm obsessed. So anyway.
So I looked up the Rolling Stone 500 greatest albums, and Rolling Stone actually turned me on to one album, and I'm surprised that it didn't make it onto this list of 500.
Yeah, what is it?
But The Refreshments, Fizzy Fuzzy Big and Buzzy.
Huh.
Amazing album. I think it should be 501, and I'd like to add it to your list.
So we did a thing. So I will tell you this. This is another thing that he added is every 50 albums that you listen to, so it's another achievement. So it's another progress thing.
You're gamifying it.
Gamifying it, yeah. He made a separate tab. So anybody who makes it through 50, because there's 500, so you will have 10 at the end of them, gets to nominate an album that wasn't on the list that you think should be. And so then we listen to everyone's like user recommendations. So I'm down to like 420 something right now. And so I've been through one of those, and the album that I put on the list that I think should have been on the list that isn't is the Decemberist Picaresque, which is one of the best. Yeah. And so I was just looking at it because there's a lot of good recommendations on here that weren't on there. So yeah, it's been a fun project. And honestly, this spreadsheet is open to people that want to do it. You kind of open up on Twitter to people. So if there's anybody, you or anybody, obviously people have started already, but this is such a long project that people will catch up, or you can do it as time allows. So if you're interested, I will give you the name of the person to go follow and get him to invite you to
Working from home, I have a lot more time on my hands than I'm used to, so I'll welcome that greatly.
My mom is doing it. That's how, I got my mom doing it. So it's a couple people from Bungie and a bunch of his friends and a bunch of other people. So it's been fun because I got someone from work. She's quite a bit younger, and so far she hates everything. So we're like waiting for her to like something. So like it's an interesting experiment to see people across all different experiences and age ranges and stuff. How they react to different albums. And because he's got a summary sheet, because in the stat tracking, we're keeping track of which albums are getting the best responses across the board. I'm trying to see what the Miranda Lambert album fared pretty well. Howlin' Wolf, incredible blues performer, is got a pretty high score.
Is Skunk and Nancy on there?
I don't know, because I haven't actually scanned everything on here because I like the surprise of it. So I don't know.
It was an alternative rock band from the 90s from my youth. Skunk and Nancy, Paranoid and Sunburnt.
Yeah, probably not. These are like, a lot of these are more Billboard top, the album. Like, there's not a lot of, but then again, because they just refreshed it this year, and I was really surprised at Bad Bunny, who's a Latin artist, and I really like reggaeton, but I was surprised to see some of this hit this list. But that album's incredible, and it's more listenable than most reggaetons. It's like a good onboarder. So they have some alternative kind of music in here, but it's mostly the albums you would expect. Otis Redding, The Dictionary of Soul. Actually, that's the one that currently has the highest score, is Otis Redding, Dictionary of Soul, which is one of the best albums ever made, for sure. It shouldn't be in the 400s. It should be in the top 100 for sure.
All right. Well, guys, check her out at CG Gouskos, Gouskos, for those who are who don't want to
hear about music, random music.
Click and you want to talk random music, you want to talk game collection, you want to talk awesome game design theory. She's your person.
I will tweet you a YouTube link to Skunk and Nancy.
Okay. Thank you. I would like to see it.
All right, Carrie, thank you so much, and I look forward to getting the for you sending me that link when we finish up the show.
Sounds good. And again, congratulations, you made it.
Woohoo! 100. All right, guys, stay tuned. Coming up, we're gonna do really quick Patreon's choice because we're running long, but it was for a damn good reason. It's episode 100. There's no rules. We'll see you next. We'll see you coming up after this break, and then if you haven't seen this month's Hellion the Noob, you're going to be laughing your butt off right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware. Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you. Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Time to rest, Helly, old boy. Yes. Rest. Yes. Rest. What, noob?
Happy New Year!
Meat bag.
Yeah, noob. Happy yet another revolution around our star day. Whatever. Go away.
Come on, Linux. It's time to celebrate.
New beginnings.
Come on, noob.
But...
You know I don't partake in waste of time, fabricated holidays that make no logical sense,
but...
and are little more than remnants of an archaic past.
But...
They're a waste of time and energy,
but...
and I don't like them.
But... Everyone celebrates the...
New Year.
Linux. It's a widespread tradition throughout the galaxy.
I don't care, droid. I'm tired. I want to rest. And I want you to go away.
I know. I will start the S2E8 protocol.
The what now?
Protocol enacted.
What's the problem this time, Linux?
Oh, jeez.
And why don't you want to celebrate the...
New Year.
Seriously?
Linux, I know you're not motivated to create new content anymore, but as the saying goes, the show...
must go on.
Oh, jeez. Noob?
Yes, Linux?
Go away. Seriously.
But...
No buts about it, mister. I just want to be left alone. I need some me time.
Linux, I'm just trying to...
cheer you up.
And get you back into the holiday spirit.
Well, I was never in the holiday spirit to begin with, droid.
Linux?
You know, you're really starting to annoy me now, noob. Go away. Do whatever it is you want to do. Just leave me out of it.
No?
You know, all I want to do is rest, noob. Don't read too much into it. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted, frankly. And I never celebrate New Year's anyway. Just go away and do whatever it is you want to do. Just leave me alone.
Linux, we must do the skit. It
requires a PSA, and we need a dramatic turn of events right at the end of this episode because it's the penultimate episode of the season. No arguing.
Meatbag.
Now, where were we? Oh, yeah, New Year's is a time for new beginnings. New beginnings are essential. We must fulfill our obligations, etc., and...
You know what that means.
Oh, dear God, Droid. What do you think you're doing?
You guessed it, Helenix. I, N00B, have a short PSA that can help
you
understand.
This isn't how any of this is supposed to go down, noob.
This PSA is brought to you by N00B and the Escape Pod Cast
Merch Store.
#shameless self-promotion.
Visit our merch store to get some awesome stuff. Doing so helps continue producing this show, ensuring many more episodes to come in the
foreseeable future.
New beginnings. What are they? Why do they keep happening? And who stands to benefit? In this SWGOH PSA, we will explore new beginnings and the many myths that surround them. All things have a beginning, a middle, and
an end.
This is the natural progression of things. At least, that's what the organics keep telling me. While we droids do not experience life cycles the same way that
meatbags
do, we too ponder the uncertainty of new beginnings from
time to time.
Are new beginnings a good thing or a bad thing? Today, we will try to navigate these
muddy waters
and determine when to look forward to a fresh start and, more importantly, when
it should be avoided.
We've all seen it. The new year rolls around and folks all over the galaxy begin making
resolutions.
Some say they'll get in shape. Others say round is a shape. Still, others ask,
what are shapes?
Noob.
Okay, maybe that didn't make too much sense. Perhaps I shall word it like so. New beginnings can be beneficial for your mental health. They allow you to begin a new chapter in your life with a clean slate, wiping away all the negativity of the past and refocusing on an optimistic and encouraging aspect for your future. Thus, new beginnings can be a
great thing.
Indeed. Making changes in your life should be done because you want the positive benefits that come from said changes to become a reality. What you don't want to do is
make changes just for the sake of making changes.
Your objective should be to enhance and improve your life, helping you to accomplish more goals than ever before. However, you should also be realistic, realizing that these changes may not come quickly nor easily. Making these changes can be accomplished if you
A.
Make a commitment to yourself to follow through with the changes.
B.
Understand that there may be knock-on effects from these changes, and
C.
Believe in yourself and your ability to make the necessary changes happen. Remember, this is
your life.
Take ownership of it and move steadily along the path that you wish to travel. After all, life is a journey full of twists and turns,
exotic planets,
gravitational anomalies,
space turbulence,
and malfunctioning hyperdrives. One can never be fully prepared for what lies ahead. But if you want to travel on a previously uncharted hyperspace lane, you can't allow
fear and uncertainty
to stop you from realizing your dreams. Only you can make the journey of your life the most exciting adventure imaginable. This has been
N00B
for the Escape Pod
Cast.
#shameless self-promotion.
And new beginnings. Because that's what New Year's is all about. Wow, these PSAs really are
harder
to make than I give Helenix credit for. So, do you see now, Helenix? Wasn't that
PSA
helpful?
Noob.
Yes, Helenix?
Go away.
No. Instead, may I show you something that I've been
working on
for the last few weeks?
Noob, if it makes you go away, then yes, fine, I guess, whatever. Show me what you got.
Excellent. In honor of
new beginnings,
I proudly present to you a newly refurbished and fully functional
TC-14.
Ah!
Master!
TC-14?
Why?
I bet y'all didn't see that.
The Escape Pod. Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back to the show after a very, very long but lovely interview with the lovely CG Carrie. I don't care that she's not CG Carrie anymore. She will always be CG Carrie to me.
Well, she is CG, and then Carrie, because Carrie Gouskos, Carrie.
Yes, that as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
Let's get stuck into these questions, because we are so over right now.
All right, Zaz asks, can you get a decent cup of tea in America?
No.
Question for me, have you ever had proper British tea and did you like it? I don't drink tea. It's against my religion. And that's actually true because I'm LDS. Let's see. What's the biggest lessons that you've learned in making the show?
As fewer hotkeys as possible.
Don't read the reviews. What do you wish you knew when you started that you know now? That Twitch is where we should have started.
Twitch is where we should have started, yeah.
What is a segment that you'd like to do that you can't do for whatever reason? Interview with CG.
Yeah.
If you could get any guest in the Star Wars universe, who would it be and why?
Mark Hamill, for God's sakes. Luke Skywalker.
Timothy Zahn.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be a good one.
And I think I might actually be able to make that happen.
Timothy,
we'll try.
Timothy Zahn, because because you would be the new books and I would be the old books, and then we would have to come together in the middle and go, okay, Mr. Zahn, tell us which canon was the most fun to write for, old or new?
He's written 4 Thrawn books in the new canon.
Yeah, well, he wrote 5 in the old. So.
He's going to write 6 when it's all over.
Don't care. Don't care.
What? Last one. What's something that you used to do for the show that you don't do anymore and would like to bring back? I'm hedging this. I'd like to do the Hollow Roundtable, but I'd like to do it right. The reason that the Hollow Roundtable went away was booking the number of people every single time.
Yeah, every single week. You got to get a certain number of people.
And so we kind of pushed the Hollow Roundtable to be, hey guys, tune into Jedi Academy on Reality Skew Gamers Saturday mornings. After you get your fill of us on Friday nights, take a nap, wake up, there's your Hollow Roundtable with tons of great people.
Yeah.
All right. Dickie Darkside said, just wanted to say thank you for the fantastic content, amazing community, and helping Sub Noob make his silly idea a reality. Dickie, we couldn't do it without you either. And you did make me cry when I read that, just so you know. Eyes are a little red. And he says, quarantine wouldn't be the same without you, and Zaz says, you guys are awesome. And he asks, if you could do something silly and childish without anyone seeing you, what would it be? Host 100 episodes of a podcast.
Something silly and challenging. Somebody. Oh, that's a good one. Because I can't think of an answer off the top of my head. If I can't think of an answer off the top of my head, as far as I'm concerned, it's a good question. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. That's a good question. If
I could do something silly and childish,
somebody else could see.
You know what? I always liked playing in the ball pit. To be honest with you, I loved the ball pit.
I mean, I would. Okay, so I mean, it's not the thing I'd like to do the most, but something that I would like to do is I would like to just play with radio control cars all day.
There you go.
Because it's silly and it's childish, and you know, I'm
a
grown man and playing with radio control cars all day. You know, just driving them around. You know, between the legs of tables and chairs and all. It's just it's not the done thing for a grown adult.
There we go. There's your answers, guys. That's Patreon's choice. 100 episodes in the books. Thank you to every single person that donated. So many. I did get to you guys. I also want to thank Kanij, Antares, Patrick AF, Weartag. Thank you guys for following. Bellinger, Savitar, IZeta12. We really appreciate it. And we hope that you guys will come back and stay a follower of the show.
Stick around for GA Center every Tuesday.
GA Center. Oh my gosh, guys, you have no idea what's coming up. It is going to be amazing. The work we've put into season 2 takes season 1 and blows it out of the water.
Blows it out of the water. And of course, obviously, we've got the new. If you don't already know, Flair's going back to the backroom staff, and my new co-host is Ranger from Reality Skewed Gamers.
Yep, Reality Skewed Gamers. You give me a moment. I would not be here doing this show without the support of Finn, of Ranger, of Grim, maybe a little bit of Grande Patron, but
Patron. It's Grande Patron. Patron. Grande Patron. It's Patron. Get your enunciations correct.
I'm sorry. I'm a little verklempt, but RSG really, truly helped inspire and keep me going. So on this 100th episode, I'd like to personally, I'm looking into the camera when I'm saying this, thank you, Reality Skewed Gamers, for not letting me give up. I appreciate you. All right.
And we're at the top of the hour, which is unusual for us because we usually end at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah, so we are going to finish up here. If you're watching live on Twitch, we're going to go to raid Shattered Order podcast because they're an awesome podcast that talks about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. They're not necessarily on episode 100, but we hope that you'll support them as well. And after that, once they go off the air, if they don't raid Gambit, go check them out. All right, guys. With that being said, what else is there to say? Be nice to each other, damn it. Neil, push the button.
You got it, buddy. Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.